All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, huge thank you to everybody tuning in. So for this video, we are rocking with the butterfly method, adding fractions with unlike denominators and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Now, this is for my 4th grade students and my 5th grade students. Many of my 5th grade students understand the butterfly method, but they've been getting confused on the difference between add the fraction when you subtract the fraction. So I'm going to do another review of what the steps are, how adding fractions is the same and how it is different than subtracting fractions. The steps are pretty much all the same. There is one small difference, and I'm going to go over what that small difference is, but I'm going to get into it step by step. Step by step, I'm going to go through how to go about adding and subtracting the fractions. So the steps are pretty much the same up until the very end, but let's get into it. So step 1, you multiply the denominators to find a common denominator. Whether you're adding the fraction or subtracting the fraction, that is step 1. So 5 times 8 equals 40. Now for the subtraction problem, 4/5 minus 1/12. 5 times 12 equals 60. So whether you're adding or subtracting the fraction with unlike denominators, step 1 is exactly the same. You always start off by finding the common denominator. Step 2, you multiply the numerator with the opposite denominator. So here we are going to multiply 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. I would write the product right above the first fraction. 4/5 minus 1/12, same thing. We multiply the numerator with the opposite denominator. 4 times 12 is 48. So next step, we're going to multiply 5 times 1. 5 times 1 equals 5. We're going to write our product above the second fraction. In the subtraction problem, same thing, 5 times 1. 5 times 1 also equals 5. So far, all the steps are the same. Whether you're adding the fraction with unlike denominators or subtracting the fraction with unlike denominators, so far all of the steps are the same. But here is where it gets important. Here is where the difference comes in. The only difference between when you're adding fractions with unlike denominators and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators is when you put in the sign. So all the steps, multiplying, finding the products, are the same. Here's where the difference is. I'm going to put a plus sign here because I need to add the numerators. And over here, since it's a subtraction problem, 4/5 minus 1/12, I'm going to put a minus sign. That is the only difference. The only difference between adding fractions with unlike denominators and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators is the sign that you put in. So multiplying the denominators is step 1. That's the same regardless. Multiplying the numerator with the opposite denominator to get each of the top numbers, that is exactly the same, regardless regardless of whether you're adding or subtracting. Only difference is the sign that you put. So for the adding fractions problem, I'm going to add 16 plus 5. 16 plus 5 equals 21. And for the subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, I am going to do 48 minus 5. 48 minus 5 equals 43. So 2/5 plus 1/8 equals 21/40. 4/5 minus 1/12 equals 43/60. So we have our answers. Now, mind you, these answers may not be in lowest terms, but I always keep my simplifying fractions videos separate from my finding the common denominator and adding and subtracting videos. Alright, so that is my live stream. That is my video for today. I hope all of you liked it. Please leave a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful. If there is anything that you're confused on, if you have any questions, put that in the comments as well. And if there is another area of math or reading that you are having a difficult time with, write that in the comments and I will do a future video on that skill. And please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get updates on all my upcoming videos. Have a very happy Monday, everybody.